Greetings, my fellow Vintage Story farmers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story, episode 121, Sow All the Seeds for Spring. Right at the start here, I am going to have you all vote on what the hell I'm working on. Because I have like a really empty docket and magic. See, my magic's working again. I want you all to vote for the next Vintage Story project. So I will summarize these. We can continue domesticating sheep and improving the barn. We have a generation 2 sheep that could get pregnant. And the barn's kind of ratty. It's not great. So definitely room for improvement there. We could domesticate chickens and build a coop. You know, for eggs, for a source of protein that we don't have to necessarily hunt for. We could hunt for olivine and titanium or ilmenite for the refractory 3 bricks so that we can make improvements to our steel making. I could also build a small marina. The base here is on a lake, and there was an opportunity, of course, to utilize boats and a marina. I could hunt locusts for high technology, or I wrote techology, but high technology components. So there's a few different components, and I would like to cover them right now. So if we go, where's the best way to do it? Is there an easy way? Yeah, here we go. So high technology would be a night vision mask, a resonator so that we could play our cylinders, a base return teleporter. So what this does is it allows you to return to your spawn point. It's single use, so it's really nice. Like if we wanted to, let's say, go get the books from the Resonance Archive, if we built a base return teleporter ahead of time, we could go there, pick up the books, use the base return teleporter, and teleport back here. There is also the Terminus Teleporter. So the Terminus Teleporter is a teleporter that you build in your base, and anytime you die, it will teleport to your body where you last died. So it's a corpse retrieval teleporter. Yeah. And then there's also the Rift. I don't know why. I guess it's not made of cryptonite nickel ingots. It's made of lead plates. So let me actually do that. Lead plate. There was also the... Oh, weird. Where is the Rift Guard? Rift Ward. Iron Plate. It's made of iron plates. And then there's the Rift Ward, which stops rifts from being opened near you. So those are the sort of like high technology components. We could construct additional outside farms to sow any additional seeds. So laying out a whole bunch of medium fertility soil and making sure that all of these seeds that we have in here are sown. Because right now all I have sown is flax. I have one intentionally fallow field, but flax, and rye. And it looks like quite a lot of the rye is ready to actually go. So we can harvest this rye and either feed it to the sheep or grind it into flour and then plant something new and rotate crops. I was originally going to wait for all the crops to mature to rotate them, and I'm probably still going to do that. Meaning that I am not going to harvest this rye until all the flax is ready to go. We could search for teleporters that reveal new biomes. So the teleporter that we found kind of mostly has us go east. Plus, I found that teleporter using cheats, meaning that I have really no intention to use it ever again. And honestly, I should probably prune it as a result, but whatever. But if we found teleporters that had us teleport north or south, north is obviously towards ice and cold, and south would be towards warm tropical biomes. So we could try to find teleporters that have us go to new sort of biomes. That's always an option. We could build a bedroom and a small library. I don't really have a proper bedroom. I have like a panic room here. So we could definitely upgrade this to a proper bedroom. I could also build a farm for berries and cattails. So now that it is springtime, things are in bloom, and I could try to lay out my berries and cattails out here in a reasonable way to make them easy to farm. So that we can make, alcohol or replace our skeps with the cattails or bandages, etc. So, or viewer suggestions, whatever you guys come up with. So, them's the poll. Does look like my skeps are harvestable. All these beautiful little bees have been busy making honey and are all harvestable. So, construct additional outside farm to sow any additional seeds. Got it. 10-4. That sounds good. So let's go ahead and do that. Before I do that, there's two things I wanted to do prior. So I am going to update that. Build an overflow farm. One was to check on the trees. I think my best guess is because I was away during the vernalization period. I was down in the archives. The trees here were set in some sort of like frozen state where they weren't, the code wasn't running to see if they should vernalize or not. Meaning I sort of like missed out on the tree season this year. That would be my assumption. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. But that's my assumption. And the other thing I wanted to do is check on the cheese. Right? Because at the end of last stream, I died very much due to like a game bug. As far as I'm concerned. Oh no, this is still raw cheese. I think this cheese probably was also frozen. In a frozen state when I was away from home. Because these ripen timers don't look right to me. But okay, that's fine. I did, accidentally, when I was getting rid of my glider, I accidentally destroyed most of my pies, my remaining pies. But I'm not going to dev mode those back in. I'm just going to deal with it. So, overflow farm. I always had the idea... Oh man, the wind is really going. I always had the idea of trying to aquascape around the base. So that the base was sort of like an island with a bridge. Meaning that if I have an overflow farm, I don't actually want it too close to the base. So that if I ever do aquascape the base, where it's surrounded by water and has a boat launch and everything, the overflow farm doesn't, interrupt that in any way. So, yeah. Let me figure out the order of magnitude of the farm. Which is to say, adding up the amount of seeds that I have so I understand the space that I'll need. So, it is quite a lot. It's 64... So let's go with... Should I actually calculate it? I think what's probably best, in my case, is to, unless you guys want to whip out a calculator, is to set up a very flat area that can be also useful for grass. That is all medium soil fertility. So that is what I'm going to do here. And for that, I'm definitely going to need a pick. Oh, let's get the prospect pick, too. The prospect pick, shovel, and the scythe. The other thing, before I leave the base, or like, before I go too far away from the base, is to grab fencing. I am almost certainly going to need more fences. No, those are ladders. Why did I make so many ladders? I messed that up and made a bajillion ladders. So yeah, that's another thing that we're going to want to acquire, is a bunch of additional fences, so that we can prevent animals from eating our crop. I probably ought to have grabbed the hoe and also whatever medium soil stacks I have. Man, I am ill-prepared to do this task. And Phoenix Wolf and Sean, thank you for the resubs. So down here in the soil, we definitely don't have enough medium fertility soil, so that's going to have to be another task to acquire a whole bunch more. I'm also out of food. So I think what I'm going to do is to whip up some additional food. It's becoming nighttime, and I'd rather not work in the dark, as there's not much point to that, as far as I'm concerned. So instead, we will have ourselves a lovely little sleep, and then bake some pies, and then we can get going. I'm just trying to analyze how much bones and bone meal I might have for the task as well. The TLDR is probably not enough. So I have 2 spelt flour. That's not a lot. We are very low on everything but vegetables. The vegetable farm last season was highly productive, and then the other stuff, less so. Which is fine. We can catch back up now that it's spring. I am not going to bother eating the flax grain, though. That doesn't seem worth it to me. It's not as nutritious. We'll just grind up some rye flour and make some simple pies to keep us running. I did have a lot of grain, and I fed them to the sheep. Yes. And I don't have any regrets there. One of them's pregnant, and we're gonna get a new, oops, a new lamb soon. So I figured they needed the food. Alright. I think I'll have just a bunch of pies of all the same type, so they stack. And we'll go with onion. We got lots of onions. The hap's a little boring, but it fills the satiety. That's all that matters. And that answered actually a question that I had, which was, can you do mixed doughs? And I guess, yes, you can. Given that I don't have enough rye dough, I will actually have to grind up that flax. So we'll have 2 full pies. And we're having 3 different types of grain in our pies. Pretty weird, but, you know, weird is fine. I could also make, like, vegetable stews. Those would be pretty cheap to do. So I'll prep the fire pit, if that's something we want to do. baked. Okay. Come on, finish up. So, some onion pie. And we'll do onion soup as well. It's too bad the cheese isn't ready. French onion soup is pretty good. Not that the game allows you to make French onion soup, but definitely a particular favorite of mine. Of course, I don't have beef broth, but, you know, personal preference and all. Vampires will hate me? I think you're thinking of garlic. I mean, same vegetable family, but... I wonder why garlic. I wonder why that was the lore. Why vampires hated garlic. You'd be very impressed if it let me make French onion soup? Yeah. I mean, we have all the ingredients, though, right? Like, it would be essentially bone broth, cheese, and onion with water. Alright, so while that cooks up, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Yeah, there's probably a mod for it. Exactly. I want to work in the daytime, so it is going to be daytime once I wake up. More or less. Got to work on my satiety. All those cranberries are probably done and ripe as well. The cranberry bushes. So that's something we can work towards too. Wow, crazy. I slept and this thing was cooking overnight. Still hasn't finished. Alright, I don't need this food yet, so I'm just going to stick it in a storage container. And it'll be here when I need it. So finally, working on that farm you all want. So I have soil, I don't have my hoe. What about berry wine? I'll check on the berry wine before I leave. Let's actually, it's going to be a lot easier if I cut the, for lack of a better term, power there rather than like subterraneally like I did before. So hoe. Yep. I'm going to use up the flint one and then go to the meteoric iron one. So we got the tools. Berry wine. This contains 1 liter of cranberry brandy. Nice. Don't know what I want to do with it. I could double distill it, or drink it. Although I really do not enjoy the drunk, like, mechanic in this game, because it just makes you super dizzy. It's just, like, skews the screen around. It's unfun to deal with. So ideally, I would want to plant somewhere close to the base, and like, super ideally, somewhere that already has medium fertility soil. Which, is that peat or fertility soil? Nah, it's peat. Huh, I didn't realize there was another peat. Okay. I mean, that's good to know. Somehow I walked over this for like years. You know, to be fair, maybe it wasn't peat before. So there's medium fertility soil underneath me right now. This whole plateau is medium fertility soil. So I think I'm going to go with where I am now. I like this spot. So what I want to do is I want to square it off so that it is... Because a square is the most fence-efficient shape to make. So let's say 1, 2... I'll just start putting them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have more seeds in that. So maybe 144 spot farm. Plus, we're going to have to dig holes for water periodically within the farm. So maybe a 13 by 13, lucky 13. The inner radius will be different though. The inner radius, if this is the fence dimensions. Hey, fence, that's not really how, I mean, that will functionally work. And, whatever. This is an overflow point. So the inside radius here, 1, 2, 3. Because I don't necessarily need to plant all of the seeds, but it would be nice to get a large quantity. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, these are gates? Yes, these are all gates. I get it. I need to make fences. I didn't realize these were all gate tiles. So I believe that was 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 12. Yeah, let's go with 12 by 12 for the inside radius. Like 144. Which should be enough of the seeds. I'm going to throw out these gates. I don't need these many gates, obviously. I'll put a double gate here, and like the rest of it can just go bye-bye. And then the other thing is we're going to want water to be within proximity of every farm tile. So it's going to look more like that. Because obviously moisture is a huge factor of growth speed. I like it. All right, let's get our fences so that we can protect it, because I don't want bunnies and the like eating our stuff. I don't know how much wood I had back in the base, so that's another thing to check. It's just definitely easier to... Oh, this is a resin tree. It's just definitely easier to use soil that's already laid out. A part of it is like, it's kind of far from the base. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should the farm be closer to the base? I mean, it is overflow. It's sort of like single use. I don't intend to return to it, but we'll see. If you guys want it close to the base, that's totally fine. There's a gravel field outside of the back of the base that I could easily lay down a few hundred dirt tiles and make it... Oh! This a pear tree! It did fertilize! Okay. The others have not died, but we have a pear tree now. Now we just need a partridge, and we'll be all set. The capacity of a barrel is 50 liters. Well, that was super weird. So I have pine fences so far. We'll continue with pine fences. So boards and sticks. And you guys want it closer. I get that. I get that. I was trying to go cheap, and you all called me out on it, so I'll make it better. Okay, that is a lot of fences. This time I made fences, not gates. Learning from my many mistakes. And let's dig up some additional medium fertility soil and move that bad boy close. The farm close to the base. I'm not worried about a bucket yet. That's comes a little bit later in the process. Obviously, I can't recoup the medium fertility soil from the ones I tilled, but that's fine. I feel like this lake got icier, which makes zero sense. We're like pretty well into spring now. The ambient temperature is quite warm, 16 Celsius. I could be wrong. Just be lake ice that hasn't melted yet. I don't remember there being ice there. How to ruin your shovel in one easy step. Alright, we have got not quite enough yet. I need about 3 stacks of it, thereabouts. And medium fertility soil has enough base fertility that it will allow for any crop to grow without depleting the nutrients of the soil, I think, which is good. So it is sort of like a single-use soil, but that's fine. All right, let's get much closer to the base. Shame I can no longer get terra preta naturally. True, but you can get high fertility soil, which turns into efficient terra preta. So there's that at least. So I think what I'm going to do here is, because you guys wanted to close to the base, I'm going to do something weird, which will actually benefit me later on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up. I'm going to set up the farm to be floating off the ground using my Seraph magic. I'm joking here, of course. And the benefit of that is it will cover the soil so that if perchance somehow this series ends up going as long as next winter, snowfall won't land on the ground below, meaning that harvesting grasses will be a lot easier in the future. So, taking a look at the map. This sandy plot here, maybe? I don't need that rip marker. Or dirt, sandy. This dirt plot over there. So I'll put it as like a floating thing over this dwarf firs lot, roughly where I am here. And then at some point I can try to flatten out this plot here, so that it is a lot easier to harvest the grasses. So this is sort of a 2 birds, 1 stone type of project. It will also make it a lot easier to protect it from local wildlife, because as long as I remove the peaks from the surrounding hillside, bunnies won't be able to get up there. Raccoons won't be able to get up there. Like, you know, the crops will be naturally protected from being elevated. So it comes with a bunch of benefits. Rabbits will only spawn in long grass. So if you harvest, if you till the soils, tilled soil will never become tall grass. At most, it only becomes medium grass, meaning that fallow fields will never spawn bunnies. And then raccoons spawn adjacent to trees. So if you don't have any tree saplings or trees around, you don't have to worry about raccoons either. Because the things that typically will go after your farms is bunnies and raccoons. So no tall grass and no trees means no critters trying to eat your stuff. And then other animals like chickens and the like don't have spawners like that. They spawn, as far as I know, due to geography. Oh, hi. You do realize my power level is way higher than yours, right? Okay. I wonder where he crawled out of. Who knows? But yeah, so that's the TLDR, is that you can very easily protect your farms by preventing bunny and raccoon spawners, because I'm getting stuff thrown at me again. Because other animals will spawn based upon seed and geography, and not like triggers like long grass or trees. So while I'm working on this, I'm just flattening out the bottom here so that it's easily reapable. So let's try to make this symmetrical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, this is like way lopsided in one direction, but that's fine. We're working on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is like not a terrible way to just do your normal farming either. Rather than trying to fence up and protect. And of course I have a lot of fences. So I'll probably use them anyway, but it's like going to be mostly for aesthetics and also for me not falling off my farm as I harvest, because, you know, falling is annoying to do as well. And bunnies can only jump so high, so if you remove the surrounding hillside, they're not going to be able to gain access to your crops. Where's the entrance could be? I'll probably have a stairwell with a gate closest to the base entryway. So let me remeasure this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I got it right. Cool. Okay. See, like I was saying, it's useful to design it in such a way that I don't fall, because falling comes very naturally to me. If you haven't already noticed, I'm very good at it. I'm an expert level faller, and it's good for me to idiot-proof my own designs, because, you know, I may or may not be the idiot that I need to proof against. And then just to re-explain, all of the dirt below will spawn, all the dirt below will spawn grasses, but can't be covered up by snow. So in leaving this structure here, even well past the overflow, the need for an overflow farm, this will also allow me to harvest grass in the winter, because no, they won't have snow accumulation. All right, let's get some more medium fertility soil. That's peat. Do I have that marked? Yeah, I have that marked down. The closest place oh, there's some here. Weird. It's just like a forest floor. Oh no, it isn't medium fertility soil. Super looked like it though. So I'm almost done placing all the soils. So I don't need too much of this stuff. But it does help to have extra soil on hand for when the soil is depleted. I can also rotate crops, so I can probably get 3 grows off of this floating farm before I have to replace any crops. Because we'll deplete the phosphorus, or the phosphates, the potassium, and the nitrates. Is there any holes? No, there's no holes. Okie dokie. For the initial entrance, I'm just going to nerd pull it. So 15 to 15 by 15. Way more fences than I needed, but they weren't too expensive. All right. Punch the holes, the water, and mind the step. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story, which originally streamed live on Twitch March 21st. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.